Hello everybody, it's CJ Wiley back with some adventures on the road. This story is about one of the strongest road players I've ever played, although you'd probably call him a plane player because he had to fly over here on a plane. His name was Francisco Bustemante, and of course most of you know him well by now, but when he first came to the United States, I was at a tournament up in Chicago at Pheasant Run. It had a golf course there, a real nice convention center, and there was this guy, Francisco Bustamante, and I watched him play a little bit, and you know, he just had a really kind of funny stroke, real loose, and but I mean, incredible shot maker, and the way that he hit the ball. There's one way that you can tell the champion players, and it's how they accelerate right at the moment of impact. It makes a kind of a higher pitched sound, and you can tell by the reaction of the cue ball. Buddy Hall was the one that first told me how this is done by using the edge of the tip, but there's more to it than that. Francisco did it really well. So anyway, we ended up matching up a gambling game, and I really hadn't gambled a whole lot in the past few months. I've been down in Texas and just really, you know, had kind of been a little lazy with my pool game, running my pool room, CJ's Billiard Palace at the time. But I went up there, and actually a lot of people have like written stories about this and told the stories. I had a Latin girl with me with the brightest green eyes. I mean, just a total 10, and a lot of the guys that remember that match remember her, I think, as well as the match between Francisco and myself, which is kind of funny. However, the match itself was something that was extraordinary. We were playing on these tables that were tight, you know. The pockets not only were small, but they had a deep shelf where you really had to hit the center of the pocket. So Francisco and I played, I know the amount was in total was about 14,000. So we kind of went back and forth for a while, and then I hit my gear and I ran 8 racks in a row on him. Now, one of the stories that I read by somebody who was there said I ran 9, but my memory is I ran 8. But be that as it may, after I did that, you know, I kind of thought it was going to take the wind out of Francisco's sails, so to speak. However, he came back and ran 9, which, like I said, some people say he ran 10. So I don't know if it was 8, 9, or 10, but it was a bunch of racks. So, well, he ended up winning the money after that, because I think I was the one that had the wind taken out of my sails, because I never ran that many racks on somebody on a tough 9-foot table and had them come back and run one more, or that just didn't happen very often. So anyway, he got the best of me. Next time we played was in a tournament at Burbank Hilton in Los Angeles. Jay Helford ran that tournament. Wonderful tournaments he had out there. And when Francisco and I played in the tournament, it was the last match to see who would play Earl Strickland for the ESPN match. And that was a big deal. There must have been 800 people there. It was just wall to wall. They were hanging off the rafters. Anyway, Francisco and I play a race to 13 to see who plays Earl the next day on ESPN. And, you know, I was really happy with my performance. You know, we just went, you know, head to head, man. We were slugging it out. And I ended up fortunate enough to win 13-12, hill against Francisco, and played Earl the next day on ESPN. That was my first ESPN match that I'd ever played. And Earl ended up beating me hill, and then he played Johnny Archer, and I think he beat him hill. So it was, you know, this game of pool, it comes down to that one game, you know, and being able to handle the pressure and run out when it means the most. And that's what really separates the pure champions that I've played in my life for the ones that were more flash in the pan. So if you like my stories and you want to learn what I've learned on the road playing these champion players and some of the tips and secrets and techniques that I've acquired over the years, I have a private membership website, www.masteringpocketbilliards.com. Masteringpocketbilliards.com is where I have my video. I have about 8 hours of videos on there. I just uploaded some new ones, and I'm going to have a lot of extra stuff. So it's less than $12 to get in. You can get out at any time, but I'm going to keep putting fresh material there every month and keep it interesting and make sure that you have the same opportunity that I had, because the day of the road player is over. So I'm going to be your personal coach if you want me to be, and share the knowledge that I learned back in the days when it was gunfights all over the country in these little pool rooms. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this story, and until next time, CJ Wiley, over and out.